By the time you realize you've made this mistake, it's already too late. Your bag gets flagged, your name gets called, or worse, the gate closes right in front of you. Airports in 2026 are faster, stricter, and way less forgiving. What used to be no big deal can now get you delayed, searched, or completely banned from boarding. And people are still making the same simple errors every single day. Some are obvious, but a few? You'd never expect them, especially the last one. That one catches almost everyone off guard. Point 1. Don't wander before finding your gate. You clear security, check your watch, and think, I've got time. So you start walking. Maybe you grab food, maybe you browse a shop, maybe you sit down somewhere that feels close enough to your gate. Here's the trap. Airports in 2026 are not laid out the way you think they are. Gates change, terminals shift, and some flights now board from completely different zones that require extra checks, shuttle rides, or even biometric scans before entry. One traveler thought their gate was a simple 5-minute walk. They sat down, ordered food, relaxed, then checked the screen again. Gate changed. New terminal. Boarding in 15 minutes. They ran, hit a security checkpoint, then another line. By the time they got there, gate closed, plane gone, boarding pass to nowhere, not fun. And this is happening more now because airports are using dynamic gate assignments to manage traffic in real time, which means your gate at check-in might not be your gate later. Here's the move. The second you pass security, go straight to your gate. Don't guess. Don't assume. Walk it. Time it. Look for anything that could slow you down. Then, and only then, go explore. Because the next mistake? It's something people do trying to feel fresh before a flight, and it backfires instantly. Point 2. Don't turn duty-free into a fragrance test lab. You walk past duty-free and it hits you. Rows of expensive colognes and perfumes. You think, why not? Let me try a few. 1 spray turns into 3. 3 turns into 5. Now you're layering scents like you're building a personality. Feels harmless, right? Here's the trap. Planes in 2026 are more sealed than ever, with tighter air circulation systems designed for efficiency, not comfort. That means whatever you spray doesn't go anywhere. It just hangs there, around you, around everyone. One passenger loaded up on samples before boarding, thinking they'd smell fresh for the trip. 10 minutes into the flight, the person next to them started coughing. Then came the headache. Then a flight attendant got involved. Turns out, severe fragrance sensitivity, the kind that can trigger migraines or breathing issues mid-air. Now imagine being stuck in that seat for hours. No escape, no fresh air, just tension, not fun, and it's not just about others. Strong mixed scents can actually make you feel worse in the air, nausea, dizziness, even irritation. That signature scent quickly turns into chemical overload at 35,000 feet. Here's the move. If you're going to use fragrance, keep it light. 1 spray, maybe 2. Better yet, wait until you land. Because the next mistake? It doesn't just make you uncomfortable, it can completely disconnect you from everything you need to travel. Point 3. Don't let your devices die at the worst time you're at the airport, phone in hand, battery at 12%. You think, I'll charge it later. It'll be fine. Here's the trap. In 2026, your phone isn't just for texting or scrolling, it's your boarding pass, your ID backup, your hotel booking, your payment method, your entire trip in one device. One traveler ignored the low battery warning, figuring they'd find a charger near the gate. Every outlet, taken. Every charging station, broken or crowded. By the time boarding started, their phone died. No boarding pass, no QR code, no access to anything. They were pulled aside while everyone else boarded, held up, delayed, and nearly left behind. Not fun. And here's what's changed. Many airports now rely heavily on digital-only systems. Some gates move faster, with automated scanners and fewer staff. If your device isn't ready, the system doesn't wait for you. Even worse, forget your charger during a layover, and now you're stuck watching your battery drop with no way to recover. Here's the move. Charge your devices fully before leaving home. Keep your charger in your carry-on, not your checked bag. And bring a power bank. That one small backup can save your entire trip. Because the next mistake, it's something people do for comfort. But it slows everything down and puts a spotlight on you real quick. Point 4. Don't wear the wrong outfit through security. You want to look good at the airport. Clean outfit, nice shoes, maybe a belt to pull it all together. You think, it's just a quick security check. I'll be fine. Here's the trap. Airport security in 2026 is faster, but also stricter. And the system is designed to flag anything that slows it down. Metal accessories, heavy shoes, layered outfits, they all get attention. One traveler wore boots with metal detailing, a chunky belt, and layered jewelry. Looked great at check-in. Then came security. Shoes off, belt off, jewelry off, bag rechecked, then flagged for extra screening. What should have taken 3 minutes turned into 20. The line behind them? Not happy. The clock? Still ticking. Not fun, and it doesn't stop there. That same outfit that felt stylish on the ground starts to feel tight, stiff, and uncomfortable in the air. Long flight, limited space. Now you're stuck adjusting, sweating, and counting down the hours. Here's the move. Dress for the system, not the photo. Wear slip-on shoes. Skip heavy metal accessories. Go for soft, breathable layers you can adjust easily. You'll get through security faster, and your future self on the plane will thank you. Because the next mistake, it doesn't just slow you down, it can quietly open the door to something a lot more serious. Point 5. Don't trust airport Wi-Fi with sensitive stuff. You sit down at the airport, phone in hand, and see it. Free Wi-Fi. No password, no stress, just connect and go. So you do. You think, I'll just check my messages, maybe my bank, real quick. Here's the trap. In 2026, airport networks are more crowded than ever. Thousands of devices on the same public connection means one thing: weak security gaps everywhere. And those gaps are exactly what attackers look for. One traveler logged into public Wi-Fi during a layover to check a bank alert. It looked normal. Nothing felt wrong. But days later, strange transactions started appearing. Password changed, email locked, trip turned into damage control. Not fun. And here's the scary part. You don't see it happening. No warning, no pop-up. Just silent access in the background while you're scrolling, booking, or checking payments. Here's the move. Don't access anything sensitive on public Wi-Fi. If you must connect, use a VPN to encrypt your data. Better yet, download what you need before you leave home and stay offline. Because the next mistake, it looks harmless, even normal. But it's one of the fastest ways people end up paying extra or losing control of their luggage. Point 6. Don't overpack your carry-on and hope it fits somehow. You stand there at home or at the airport counter thinking, it zips, so it's fine. Maybe it's a little tight. Maybe it's pushing the limits. But you tell yourself it'll work. Here's the trap. In 2026, airlines are not guessing anymore. They are measuring, weighing, and enforcing carry-on limits at the gate more strictly than before because overhead space is now a major conflict point on nearly every flight. One traveler shows up with an overstuffed carry-on. It fits, technically, but at boarding, the agent checks it. One squeeze, then the verdict: too large, gate check. Now the problem starts. Extra fee, delay at boarding. And worst of all, the items they needed during the flight? Gone into checked baggage last minute. Not fun. And it gets worse when flights are full. Because when overhead bins run out, your bag becomes everyone's problem. People get delayed. Bags get relocated. Stress spreads fast through the cabin before takeoff even starts. Here's the move. Pack light. Follow your airline's exact size rules. If you're unsure, leave space in your bag before you leave home, not after it's already stuffed. Because the final mistake isn't about bags or rules or even security. It's something people do to relax right before boarding, and it can completely change how your flight starts. Point 7. Don't overdo one last drink. Before boarding, you're sitting at the airport lounge, everything packed, everything checked. You think, I've got time for just one more drink. Then another, then maybe one more to relax before the flight. Here's the trap. In 2026, airlines are taking pre-boarding behavior more seriously than ever. Cabin crews and gate agents are trained to watch for signs of intoxication before you even step on the plane. Because once you're denied at the gate, there's no arguing your way in, no refund, no second chance, just your seat going to someone else. One traveler had a few drinks while waiting. Nothing extreme, just enough to feel loose and calm. But when boarding started, their coordination was off. Their speech was slightly slurred. That was all it took. They were pulled aside and denied boarding. Trip gone, money lost, everyone else flying without them. Not fun, and it gets worse in the air. Alcohol hits harder at altitude, less oxygen, dry cabin air. What felt like just a buzz on the ground can turn into dizziness, dehydration, and full regret mid-flight. No escape, no reset button. Here's the move. Keep it light. If you drink, do it early and slow, or skip it completely before flying. Save the celebration for when you actually land. Because here's what most people don't realize. It's not always the big mistakes that ruin your trip. It's the small, just this once decisions right before boarding that decide whether your journey starts smooth or turns into something you wish you could undo. And in some airports, there's one more mistake people make at the gate itself, right before stepping onto the plane, that can quietly change everything without them even realizing it.